you were not born to be average. And yet, look around. Most people are sleepwalking, numb, distracted, drifting through life as if they've got forever, letting the noise of the world write their story for them, letting fear make their decisions, letting doubt run the show, and worst of all, letting their mind be mastered by the very world that was designed to keep them small. But you're here for something more. Because deep down, you've felt it, that inner pull, that whisper in the silence that says, you were made for more. You've heard it in moments of solitude, in late nights when your soul refused to sleep, in the quiet rage you feel when settling becomes unbearable. That's not just motivation, that's your calling. And it begins with one thing, mastering the battlefield between your ears before the world turns it into a prison. Because here's the truth, most people will never tell you. If you don't command your mind, the world will command it for you. This is the first and final war, the war for your mind. Not your circumstances. Not your past. Not your bank account or your resume. No, your life rises and falls with the patterns you allow to take root in your thinking. That's where the game is won. That's where the chains are broken. That's where you go from existing to living on purpose. And yet, most people hand over the keys to their mind like it's nothing. They wake up and grab their phone before they even grab their thoughts. They scroll through other people's lives before they've even stepped into their own. They listen to gossip before they've even listened to their own goals. They are programmable, and they're being programmed, but not you. Because starting today, you make a decision, the decision. You will become the master of your mind. Not by accident, not by chance, but by ruthless, conscious, daily design. You see, Napoleon Hill taught us that every human is born with the power to shape their destiny, but only if they first gain control over their own thinking. He said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But what he really meant was that your mind is not just a vessel, it's a weapon. And if you don't learn how to wield it, it will turn on you. The same mind that can build an empire can also destroy your future. So, let's start with the foundation, belief. Belief is not just positive thinking. It's not some weak affirmation in the mirror. It's a force, a decision, a quiet revolution inside your soul that says, I don't care what the world says. I know what I'm becoming. Every great man and woman of history had it. Edison had it after 10,000 failed attempts to invent the light bulb. Lincoln had it after losing 8 elections before he ever won one. Disney had it when he was told he lacked imagination. These weren't superhumans. They were masters of belief. They saw the world not as it was, but as it could be, and more importantly, as they would make it become. Your beliefs are the lens through which you see every opportunity, every failure, every second of your life. Change your beliefs, and you change your destiny. But here's the twist. Belief isn't automatic. It's built layer by layer, thought by thought, decision by decision. It's forged in the fires of adversity. It grows in silence. It becomes unshakable, not through comfort, but through conflict. So ask yourself, what do you believe about yourself when no one's watching? What do you believe you're truly capable of, not just in words, but in action? Because here's the deal. You will never rise above the identity you've accepted in your mind. You will never outturn your self-worth. You will never outperform the limitations you've chosen to tolerate. Want to master your mind? Start with the beliefs you allow to live there. Now let's talk about clarity, the weapon of the focused. Most people think they're stuck, but they're not stuck. They're scattered, unfocused, aimless, chasing 100 things, finishing none, saying yes to distractions, no to discipline, running on autopilot and wondering why they can't fly. Clarity changes everything. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. And you cannot build a future you have not clearly defined. The mind loves direction. It craves certainty. That's why the most dangerous man in the room isn't he the loudest. It's the one who moves with purpose. The one who knows exactly what he wants and why he wants it. Because once you know your why, discipline becomes devotion. Effort becomes automatic. The grind becomes sacred. So ask yourself again, this time with brutal honesty. What do you want? What do you really want deep down, stripped of fear, guilt, or judgment? If you don't define it, the world will define it for you. They'll offer you a path, one that's familiar, well-worn, and often unchallenged. A routine, a checklist version of life that asks for conformity over creativity. They'll call it secure. They'll label it realistic. But often what they're offering is comfort dressed as success, a version of life that fits neatly inside someone else's idea of fulfillment. But you weren't made for repetition. You weren't designed to blend in. You were built to create, to envision, to shape a life that reflects who you truly are, not just what's been done before. Because clarity, real clarity, is power. It cuts through noise. It destroys décision. It gives your days meaning and your actions momentum. Clarity turns your mornings into momentum. It transforms routine into ritual. It turns your daily effort into a mission, not just movement. So rise and define it. Get clear on what your future actually looks like. Not what the world expects, but what ignites something in you. Write it, speak it, refine it. Not once, not someday, but every day. Until the vision is burned into your mind and everything else fades into the background. That's how leaders think. That's how creators live. That's how you reclaim the steering wheel of your life. And once clarity has taken root, once your mind is anchored in purpose, the next threshold is discipline. Not fleeting motivation. Not a burst of inspiration from a quote or video, but real discipline, the inner structure that separates the hopeful from the committed, the starters from the finishers. Because here's the truth few acknowledge. Discipline is the foundation of freedom. Freedom is not about doing whatever you want whenever you feel like it. That's not freedom, that's reaction. True freedom is being able to guide yourself to follow through on the choices that align with your future, even when they're uncomfortable, especially when they're uncomfortable. Your thoughts will wander. Your emotions will shift. Distractions will come knocking loud, tempting, convincing, but discipline is the quiet voice that says, stay the course. Napoleon Hill said, self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. And he was right, because everything begins in the mind. The decisions you delay, the goals you abandon, the shortcuts you take, they all start as thoughts, and they all end in habits. So if you want to shift your life, you must start by shifting what you tolerate from yourself. If you tolerate inconsistency, you'll build a pattern of stopping. If you tolerate distractions, you'll construct a mind that scatters under pressure. But if you train yourself to follow through, even in silence, Even when no one's watching you, build a foundation that the world cannot shake. Discipline is not about being harsh. It's about being focused. It's about showing up when it matters. And here's the thing, it always matters, because the life you want doesn't respond to how you feel, it responds to what you do. And what you do again and again becomes who you are. That's the turning point. Once discipline becomes your standard, you start taking action not based on mood, but based on mission. And now you arrive at the engine of change, action. Because no matter how clear your vision is, no matter how deep your belief or strong your routines, nothing moves until you do. Action is the bridge between your current life and the one you imagine. It's not perfection that creates results, it's momentum. You'll never feel fully ready. You'll never have every answer. You'll never eliminate all risk. But the decision to move, to take that first step, shifts everything. It tells your mind we are not waiting anymore. We are becoming one. Even small actions carry power. They break inertia. They rewire your identity. They shift you from reaction to creation. You'll face uncertainty. You'll question yourself. But action silences doubt by proving what's possible. When you step forward, even with trembling hands, you prove that. The voice of growth is stronger than the voice of fear. The people you admire, those who broke through and created something extraordinary, they didn't avoid challenge. They accepted it. They acted in the face of resistance, not the absence of it. This is how you master your mind, by moving anyway. And when you begin to act consistently, you will meet the next defining experience. Challenges. Every worthwhile journey includes moments of difficulty. But these are not signs to stop. They are signs to evolve. Obstacles are not roadblocks. They are invitations to strengthen your character. They are life's way of asking, are you really committed to the path? Many people slow down when things get hard, but not you, because you know that difficulty isn't there to hold you back. It's there to develop you. This is where you learn the deeper skill, adaptability. To adapt is to grow, to adjust without losing direction, to shift your strategy without sacrificing your vision. The world will change. Conditions will shift. Life won't always cooperate with your plans. But a mind trained to adapt, to observe, respond, and move forward becomes unstoppable. And when you adapt without giving up, something powerful begins to emerge. Gratitude, not in the form of cliches or surface level appreciation, but a deeper, steadier kind of gratitude, one that sees value in every step of the journey. You begin to see growth in the challenges, lessons in the delay, strength in the struggle. You begin to realize this process is the reward. The mind that sees opportunity in every moment is the mind that creates its future. And now, we arrive at the summit, not the end, but the awakening. This is where the shift becomes permanent, where the chains break, where you remember who you are and who you were always meant to be. Because when you master your mind, you don't just change your thoughts. You change your identity. You're no longer controlled by fear. You're no longer defined by circumstance. You're no longer hypnotized by mediocrity, opinions, or the noise of the world. You see the world for what it is, a mirror, reflecting back who you choose to become. You move different now. Not in arrogance, but in conviction. Not in ego, but in certainty. Because you know the greatest power on this earth is not wealth, fame, or control. It is self-mastery. It is walking into a storm and remaining still. It is being surrounded by chaos and choosing calm. It is being underestimated and choosing silence until your results roar louder than any critic ever could. The world will still try to sway you. It will throw doubt, distraction, delay, and disappointment. But you are immovable, not because the world got easier, but because your mind got stronger. This is the path of those who rise, of those who build legacies, not just careers, of those who live on fire, while others merely exist in comfort. And make no mistake, this is a lonely path. You'll lose people. You'll outgrow environments. You'll be misunderstood by the masses who chose safety over greatness. But hear me now. Your calling is not for the crowd. Your destiny is not a group project. It is forged in solitude and proven in the world. Think of Hill, alone for decades, gathering wisdom, compiling stories, sharpening the laws of success not for profit, but for principle, because he knew if he could teach the world to master the mind, he could free mankind from the prison of its own self-doubt. This is your inheritance. The philosophies of the giants were not just meant to be studied. They were meant to be activated, lived, breathed, embedded into your DNA. So what will you do with it? Will you go back to the noise? Back to the easy path? Back to doubting your power and shrinking in your own story? Or will you choose mastery? Not once, not when it's convenient, but daily, moment by moment, breath by breath. Because this isn't a motivational video. This is a mirror. And what you see now, the fire in your chest, the clarity in your mind, the pulse of something awakening deep in your spirit, that's you, the real you, the buried you, the version of you that doesn't flinch, doesn't quit, doesn't wait for permission. So rise on, stand up not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Stand up for your future. Stand up for your name. Stand up for the legacy that only you can build. Because if you don't master your mind, the world will. But if you do, nothing and no one can stop you. Because the man or woman who owns their mind owns their life. And now, you know what you must do.